So this is video number 3. Video number 3, the no calculator questions, but these are the grid-ins. And there's only 4 problems. The answer sheet, if you look at the back page, the answer sheet says numbers 1 through 3 are medium and number 4 is hard. So, but we're going to do all 3 of these and see if we can get some reasonable headway on these. First thing you should do is read the instructions really carefully this weekend. You should not read the instructions on Wednesday. You should already know them on Wednesday. That way you don't waste time trying to read instructions that you already have ahead of time. So please read the suggestions. It does say you should write the answers in the box above the bubbles. You don't have to, but it helps you fill in the bubbles. Every column has to have one circle only. You don't have to fill in a circle. If you look at the answer for 2.5 here in the second example, then you'll see that the first column is left empty. You can answer questions more than one way. So if you see the answers for 2/3, you can do it as a fraction. You can truncate 0.666666 and just only write 3 decimals, or you can round 0.667. All of those are acceptable. And if it's a number that's a whole number less than 4 digits, you can start anywhere you want. You just cannot start in the middle. So you can start at the beginning or start at the end. Okay, let's look at the questions. The first question on the grid-ins has, pull up my test here. What value of h is 24 the same as h over 10 minus 6? I don't think there's a way of doing this unless you just know how to solve an algebra equation. So you are told that 24 is the same as h over 10 minus 6, and you've got to solve this for h. So probably the best approach is just to add 6 to both sides, and so that gives you 30 over here, and h divided by 10, and then multiply both sides by 10, and so that will give you 300. Okay, so h is 300. Go to the grid-ins and start bubbling 300, 300. I would probably, if you look at your choices there, I would probably do it like this: 300, and then 0, 1, 2, 3. I'd fill in the 3 bubble, and then I would fill in the 0 bubbles like that. Okay, number 15. Let's look at 15. What is the value of a? So that's what we're trying to figure out. We do know that 2a plus 3 take away 4a minus 8 is equal to 7. And again, this is pure algebra at this stage. They don't give us the choices, so we're just going to have to be able to solve this equation. Okay, so we have 2a plus 3. Now here, don't forget, you have to distribute that minus 1. So minus 4a and then plus 8 is equal to 7. I would collect like terms. You have minus 2a's, right? There's 2, take away 4. And then you have 11, and that's equal to 7. 11 is the 3 and the 8. And then I would probably subtract the 7. So subtract the 11. Minus 2a is the same as 7. Take away 11 is negative 4. So a is equal to 2. Okay, a is equal to 2. Number 16. Number 16, it says x is not equal to 0. I'm wondering why they say that. You've got to figure out what 4 times 3x quantity squared over 2x quantity squared. And what does this equal? Okay, so we're not solving an equation as much as just evaluating. This is pretty interesting. You can do this 2 ways. You can do the algebra. For this one, I'm going to choose a number. I'm going to suppose, let's suppose that x is a number. Now, what kind of number should we choose? We should not choose 0, right? It says x can't be 0. And we should probably avoid numbers like 1 or 2. I'm going to let x is equal to 3. This will work if x is 3 or 4 or 5 or 10 or 100. But I'm just going to choose a number for x and see what happens. Here's our problem. We have 3 times 3, because I'm letting x be 3. We have to square that, and that's divided by 2 times 3 squared. Now, all we have to do is figure that out. We don't have a calculator, but the numbers are small enough, I think you can do this. This is 4 times 9 squared. Remember, we're doing the parentheses first, divided by 6 squared. Okay, so let's see, 9 times 9 is 81. So this is 4 times 81 divided by 36. And that's our answer. So we just have to figure out what that is. 81 times 4, 324, and then divide 36 into that. 36 goes into 324, and it does go 9 times. 54, carry the 5, so 9 times 3 is 27, plus 5 more is 32. Okay, so the answer is 9. Now, do you have to do it that way? Of course not. Can you do algebra? Of course you can. But I'm just showing you that you can do this without algebra if you just pick a number for x. You could pick any number for x except for 0, and I would avoid 1 as well. I chose 3. Let's do it the algebra way. This works out to be 4 times 3x times 3x, that's what 3x squared means, divided by 2x times 2x. Okay, so I'm just going to rearrange things here. We have 4 times 3 times 3 times x squared. Here we have 2 times 2 times x squared. The x squares cancel. And on top, we've got 4 times 3 is 12. And 12 times 3 is 36. And on the bottom, we have 2 times 2, which is 4. 36 divided by 4 is 9. Okay. The last of the grid ends, number 17. Here's the problem. X minus 2 is a factor of this expression. B is the number. What's the number B? Okay. So let's see. We've got x squared minus bx plus b breaks up. They tell us one of the factors. One of the factors is x minus 2, but we don't have any clue what the other factor is. Okay, so let's think. If we had x minus 2 and we're multiplying it times something, we're supposed to get this, x squared minus bx plus b. Well, x times x gives us the x squared. Okay, so that's good. Now how about the constant? This is where things get a little dicey. Let's forget the middle terms just for a minute. Remember, we're foiling, F-O-I-L. And I want to look at the last term. This minus 2 times this thing here, I'm going to put a question mark, okay, has got to be, when you multiply those together, you're supposed to get b, a positive b. So how could that happen? Well, first of all, notice that the first factor here has a negative 2, which means this question mark has to be a negative. So I'm going to put a negative there. And now I've got 2 times this unknown quantity has got to give me b. Well, this requires a little bit of thought and maybe just some trial and error, but hopefully you can see that in order to get b for your answer, this has got to be b divided by 2. So let me just double check that. If I FOIL here, right, the first is x times x, which is x squared. The outside, if we do the outside, that would be x times minus b over 2. So that's minus b over 2x. If we do the inside, that's this, which is minus 2x. And then when we do the last terms, negative 2 times the negative b over x is positive 2b over 2, or the 2's cancel, just positive b. So we get the positive b, that's right. We get the x squared, that's right. I guess the only question is this really the same as that? And this takes a little bit of look. Let's see, let's get a common denominator and add these guys up. I think you'll be pleasantly surprised. Negative b over 2x, take away 4 over 2x is going to give us negative b x minus 4x over 2. And we know that B is supposed to be, what did we say B was? B, we don't have B yet. So how do we get B? Okay, well, what do we know? We know that this constant is the same as this coefficient, okay? So this now is minus B over 2x plus 2x, right? If I just pull out the minus sign, and that's supposed to be the same as B. That's what this says. It's supposed to be the same as B. So here's my algebra step. I've got negative B over 2 minus 2. That's the coefficient, and that's supposed to be the same as B. What do you want to do there? I don't like fractions. Let's multiply both sides by 2. So that gives me negative B minus 4 is 2B, or moving that over, 3B is equal to negative 4. Let's see. We're not going very clear here. I'm going to stop the tape here and start this over again. Hang on. Stop. Okay, sorry for the misread. I lost a sign here. Let me go back to the beginning and start this problem just to make it a little bit cleaner. We know x squared minus bx plus b is equal to x minus 2 because they told us that, and we figured out that this had to be x minus b over 2. Okay, so that when we FOIL out this side here, we get x squared, and then we get minus b over 2x, and then we get minus 2x, and then plus b. And that does match up very nicely. We have an x squared, we have a minus bx plus b. So we notice the b's match, okay, so that's good. The x squares match, that's good. And then what we have to see is that this has got to be the same as this. So let me go off to the side. Negative dx has got to be the same as negative b over 2 minus 2x. Negative b over 2x minus 2x. And the key here is just to go ahead and factor the x out of the right and then drop out, cancel the x's. So negative b over 2 minus 2 times x. There we go. So now the x's divide out. Those are gone. And we're left with this much simpler equation. Negative b is the same as negative b over 2 minus 2. I would probably at this stage multiply everything by negative 1. Okay, both the left and the right side. Okay, left and the right side by negative 1. So that gives us b is the same as b over 2 plus 2. And then multiply everything by 2. Okay, multiply both the left side and the right side by 2. So we get 2b. This is 1b plus 4. Subtract off the b's. b is equal to 4. Okay, sorry about that. Next little videotape will be the calculator problems. And for that one, I'm going to use my graphing calculator and try to work those.